You've been looking pretty good these last few weeks, man.
Yeah, I got a secret stash of the stuff in the mail.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got the Caldera Lab stuff too, huh?
I did get it.
Dude, this is some great stuff, man. It's a 3-product regimen. You can go to their website and check the third-party results yourself. You don't have to believe Ray or I, but we've both been using it. It's great stuff. The 3-product regimen of the good, the base layer, and the clean slate. People who have used it are experiencing smoother and healthier looking skin. It's really great stuff. Go over to calderalab.com and use promo code Deluxe for 20% off. This is a great deal, Ray.
Yeah, look good, feel good, live good. That's what I always say.
Absolutely. calderalab.com. Use promo code Deluxe for 20% off of your entire order. Hey, everybody. Casey here. Just want to let everyone know that we're doing a giveaway for Halloween. And since Peter Anthony and Jason Brooks are our guests today, I'm giving away a custom Jason Voorhees Funko Pop from Roseblood. Check it out. There's only a few of these in existence. Has the Roseblood logo on it there. The mask, number 13. It's never been opened. So, if you want to win this, I'm going to tell you how. You can email us at deluxeeditionpod@gmail.com and say, I want to win the Funko Pop. You can message us over on Facebook, facebook.com/deluxeeditionpod. Message us over on Instagram at deluxeeditionpod. Or there is a way to contact us if you go to the website, deluxeedition.show. There is a contact form at the bottom of that. And just shoot us a message on any one of these platforms and just say, I want to win the Funko Pop. And we'll be giving this away on Halloween, October 31st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned. Get those emails in. Message us. Tell your friends.
Hey everyone, this is Matt, the Triple T podcast host. What does Triple T stand for? TikTok Tuesday, a show where viewers submit TikTok videos and we play and react to them. The co-hosts Toby, Euban, and Richie. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths. We're live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Beard Laws YouTube. Let us rebuild your For You page with the best TikTok videos and be a part of the show by sending in your videos.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Shearer. With me, as always, Mr. Cleveland L. Ray Sexton.
What's going on, Casey?
Not too much, buddy. How are you?
I'm having a fantastic day today.
Yeah, Browns.
The Browns
off.
win.
The Browns win. They beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep, which is why I have my jersey on. If they'd have lost, I wouldn't fucking have it on. I'll tell you that right now.
If you're wondering why you're listening to this and the Browns are playing someone else other than the 49ers, it's because we record a week in advance.
Yep.
So we're riding high on the Browns win right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, Ray, That's not what we're here to talk about, is it?
That is not what we're here to talk about. No.
No. We are here to talk about the conversation that we just had with Jason Brooks and Peter Anthony. Tell us who these fine folks are, Ray.
These gentlemen make movies, and not just any movies, good movies. The kind of movies that you would like to watch if you're not a loser. Yeah, I mean, these are movies that you should go watch.
Well, even if you are a loser, I mean, you're going to want to watch these movies, right?
Well, no, that's why they're losers. Because they don't watch their movies.
All right. Well, yeah. So I know these guys. I've known these guys for a while. First met them on the set of Roseblood, which I was in. Roseblood, Friday the 13th fan film, written and directed by Peter Anthony, one of our guests tonight. And then I filled the role of Jason Voorhees, played by Jason Brooks in Roseblood. And then he also plays Jason Voorhees in Vengeance 2, Bloodlines. Fantastic fucking movie, man. I mean, we talk about it in the interview, like why they have to say fan film, and they get into that. But yeah, like you say in the interview, I mean, they're just as well done as, so like, even better than some of the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, I think it's an insult to call these fan films because they're so well made that they should just be called films. They really should just be films.
Right. Yeah, but there are legitimate reasons why they have to call it fan films, but either way, I mean, they're great movies. Go watch them. Roseblood, and then Vengeance and Vengeance 2. But I didn't even realize this, but Jason, I didn't even know that he had to audition for the first Vengeance. I thought he was more involved with that.
Well, and that's why we do these interviews, Casey. So we find out stuff.
Yeah, so let's find out a little bit more about these movies, and then we talked to Peter about his upcoming film, Laugh. But first, the house cleaning, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
We are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network. Find all of the other great shows on the network over at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. The podcasts of the month this month are Terror Tuesday and The Graveyard Club. Both kind of different shows. Graveyard Club is a YouTube basically exclusive show, and Terror Tuesday is a live Instagram show every Tuesday with our friend Amber, who will be on the show, I think, next week. So check them out. If you'd like to see what Ray's posting over on Instagram, check it out over at Deluxe Edition Pod. If you would like to support our show, you can go to patreon.com/Deluxe Edition Pod and hear about what we talk about before and after the show. I post the shows unedited exclusively on Patreon right after we record. If you want to buy a t-shirt, head over to whatamaneuver.net/collection/deluxe-edition. And if you want to hear all of our previous shows, go over to deluxeedition.show, and you can find all of that stuff over there. Ray, how about you, buddy?
Today, I would like to beg of all of you to like, share, subscribe, rate our show on whatever platform you listen to it or watch it on. It really does help us out if you just hit that little like button. It's not that hard, and if you're feeling saucy, go give us a little review. Give us that 5-star, 3-star. Fuck, give us a 1-star. I don't care. Just give us a review. Give us something to read. It's super easy, and it really does help us out if you just, do those few things. So thank you in advance, and that's it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And yeah, if you give us a 1-star review, we're not gonna beg that you go and give us a 5-star review and change the algorithm. Just go and review us. That's all.
Yep.
If you don't like us, you don't like us.
Yeah. Well, we might come to your house and rearrange your face. Nah, I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. thank you so much for joining us, Peter Anthony and Jason Brooks. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your nights to do this.
Yeah.
Let's get started with Vengeance 2, I guess. Because I just watched it again last night. Fucking amazing, man.
Oh, thank you.
So fucking good, dude. One question, the fire scene. Is that you? That's you?
That's the one. That's not me. I begged and begged to, when I contacted the stunt people, because at first we're talking about it, like figuring out some stuff online. And I was like, I'll just throw myself on fire. Then after a while, I was like, no, I don't want to be the idiot that's out there making a fan film and then, screws it up. And then I'm in the hospital. And then, it sets a bad example. Right. So I went and contacted these stunt guys, Peter Drago. He's out here, done a lot of great Hollywood stunts and stuff and worked with a lot of great people. Said, he came recommended. So asked him about it. It's like, hey, can you put me on fire and teach me how to do it safely? And he said, no, but we got guys that could double for you. I'm like, no, come on. I want to be on fire. Like, this is important to me. I want to do it. I've done all my own stunts and all this stuff. And I want to do it. It sounds awesome. And he's like, if we had a year and had time, 6 months, whatever, then we could train you and do it. But we just don't have that. So I was like, yeah, but I'm 6'5", 250 pounds, whatever. So it's going to look weird to have someone else who's like, dude, we're professionals. We have every shape, size, color, anything you can imagine. We got those people for you. So they did. And they got Thomas Marshall, who's actually like an inch or two taller than me, and got him in the costume. And he did it, killed it. Great job.
Your stunt going backwards through the chair, sorry to cut you off, inside the church is, to me, more impressive than the guy walking with his arm on fire.
Really?
Yeah. When you went flying back from the shotgun,
when Tom Matthews shoots me,
yeah, you could have got hurt. You could have cracked your head. You can't really see. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's more impressive than just standing there. Because once you yell, or once you go to your knees, they just put you out anyways, right?
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's a big process. You're wearing all the stuff and the gels, and it's very impressive. And this is the behind the scenes on the stunts, like I just posted to everyone, kind of that process. And they do the whole safety meeting with everyone. It's very cool to watch how.
My point is that you could have done it. Is my point.
Oh, I could have done it.
Yeah,
I would have but just if I had the proper training. And they were right too. Like, if something goes sideways, people are professionals and stuff goes sideways all the time. Kane Hodder, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't intend to get lit on fire like that, but it happens. And so they're like, you're the writer, the director, and the star of this movie. If you get fucked up, the movie's done. All this money, all the people out here, you're done. Like, what's going to happen the next day? And I was like, you're right. So it made sense to get a stunt person to do something like that, because that would put me in the hospital. Something else, I break an arm, I could be back,
Did the fire ruin the suit? I never asked you this.
No, I had a different suit.
Oh, okay.
So we had to have multiple. So we had one that was made so we could do a test burn. So we could make sure that none of the chemicals or the paints or anything like that could burn and ignite higher, without the controlled fuel. And then we also had to have like the costume all metal, anything that had a rivet, anything that had buttons that were metal, anything like that has to be taken off. So that, because those get hot with the fire and then they'll continue staying hot and burn. So it's a completely modified costume. And then we got all that together, had one specific or two specifically for the burn. So that way, if the first one didn't work or something happened, we had to redo it. We'd have a backup. So we had 3 costumes set for the burn, one to burn for the controlled test, for the lighting test, to get the camera set so that they know this is what the fire is going to look like. This is the color of the flames. Do you want blue flames, red flames, great, orange. And then we could set on fire without the actor. Then we had the actor in it and do it. So, but yeah, he did great. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I wish it was me. I'm grateful for that too.
Sorry, I have so many questions. I'm the one doing the interview. I never asked any of this stuff. I'm assuming he like holds his breath when he goes to his knees, because they fucking lit. And behind the scenes, you got to watch the behind the scenes, Casey. They lit him up. I'm pretty sure you can't suck that shit in. So does he like hold his breath when that happens? Or?
I think they hold their breath the entire time.
Really?
Because you don't want to breathe in the fire.
Yeah. But he's walking. I mean, that's not easy.
Yeah, you burn because you're down there and you're concentrating, and then you're on fire and they set you on there. Then he's got to walk. And when he gets up, he's got to hit his arm against his leg to catch the rest of it on fire, or vice versa, and then walk. And we went over it like a lot because, and he did a really good job caring about the role. And we walked together. I showed him how I walk and how I do it. So a lot of people don't realize it's not me. They're like, he walks just like you. Right. So yeah, Thomas did a phenomenal job on that. But I think they hold the breath the whole time, because you get those flames up in your face. You can't inhale that and burn your lungs, right?
Yeah, good point. I never thought about that.
Damn. That's crazy. Speaking of, you mentioned that you didn't want to break your arm, but that was one of the best special effects in that scene where Jason breaks that dude's arm and the bone pops through.
Oh, Paul Taylor, Pinhead.
That's one of the best ones. And then also like the ones that got me the most, that like really made me cringe the most, was that and when he peeled Tommy McLaughlin's nail off.
Oh, nice.
That shit was fucking. I was like, oh my god. Actually, just sitting here, I was thinking about, like, I always think about what I'm gonna say, and I was thinking about that, and it made me fucking cringe just thinking about it. It's that shit was fucking nasty.
Oh, I love that.
Reminds
Thank
me
you.
of Jason X when the fat like son comes out to fight Jason outside the bar. Remember, he grabs his hand, and both bones shoot through Jason. Remember that?
That was part
9. Sorry, part 9. Outside the diner, the chubby kid comes out and goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
When he punched, and dude, both bones pop. It reminded me just of that. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a really cool, simple effect too. To do the bone popping out, and it's it was great. It was Paul Taylor. He played Pinhead, Hellraiser Judgment. He did a phenomenal job selling that as well. So,
who did all the special effects for Vengeance?
That was me and my Real Fiction Studios company. We built like all the bodies, the prosthetics, all the silicone parts and everything. And then I brought on Michelle Munoz, and Naomi Micha Miller, who's now my partner. We had them lead the team, and we had a bunch of other special effects artists and makeup artists who kind of helped assist. And so we got there, and I said, okay, here's the body, here's the setup, and here's the gag. Michelle and Naomi helped build some of that, so they had understanding as well. But it's like, here's how it's going to work, and we walk them through it and train everyone so that they could perform it, because I can't do it obviously while I'm in costume. But some of it, because I did build it and I was in costume, I was able to do the rigging myself, being in scene, since I understood how the mechanics of it. But yeah, that was me and the team.
You brought some people back from previous Friday the 13th movies, right? Talk about that.
Yeah, Tamara from Halloween 5. We had Darcy DeMoss, who played Nikki in Part 6. Tom McLaughlin, writer-director, Part 6. CJ Graham was Elias Voorhees, who was, of course, Jason in Part 6. We had, like I said, Paul Taylor from Hellraiser Judgment, plays Pinhead. Rob Mello from Happy Death Day, he's Babyface Killer.
Yeah.
We had Richie Ramone from the Ramones, drummer there. I know I'm forgetting someone.
Tom Matthews.
Tom Matthews, Tommy Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was like you could.
Ruby, CJ's wife.
Yeah, Ruby was great.
Ruby, oh god, Ruby was amazing. She was so nervous.
Was really good.
I've never acted before. I'm so nervous, and she killed it.
She really did. So yeah, when she got killed, I was like, no, Ruby.
She was so funny that night. I mean, there's some of it in behind the scenes we put out, but she was hilarious, and just the whole kill. She was all for it and having a great time. And then the next day, like, because I gotta shove my fist through her body, right, and grab her heart and hold it and show it to her in front of her. And so, like, setting that whole thing up, we had a dummy body to actually do the whole thrust through, but then we had to get my arm around her and through her actual shirt and hold it there so she could look down and do all the stuff. And then I throw her out the window. And the next day, CJ comes to me, he's like, all stern. And I was like, hey, what's up? He's like, I knew what you did with my wife last night. And I was like, which part? Throwing her out the window, ripping her heart out, covering her in blood. Which part? But no, she killed it. It was great. Love her.
What was the process like compared to the first Vengeance? What was different compared to the first one for this one? Because I mean, they're both great movies, but you can definitely tell that this one, is much better quality.
Oh, thank you. For me, I had more control over this one.
Jason directed it. That's why.
Yeah, I got to write and direct this one. I had a crew that I work with on other things that I know and trust and love, and who are very passionate about filmmaking and creativity. So I knew right away I wanted Kody Newton. He worked on the first one as well as the B unit, and he worked on a lot of the kills, just straight up the kills and stuff, while Jeremy and Dustin did kind of the dialogue and all that. But I knew I wanted Kody. He's really good at action. He's a director, so he understands direction, performance, and all that stuff as well. But he's also happens to be a talented director of photography. And so he was able to step in and help me when I was in costume and kind of keep an eye on that. And he'd show me the monitor, play back on things so I can make sure that I was happy with my performance and all. But that was the major thing, was having the control, for better or for worse, It's so much more work, but having it be so big and grand and having all those celebrities in it, having this massive story. I mean, we were, shooting outside of our league right there, right? It's like we made a movie that we should not have been able to accomplish with that little bit of money. So it was crazy. It was stressful, but I had an amazing team that was able to pull it all together. You take one person out of that whole group and it would have fallen apart.
Yeah, it's a great movie, man. I mean, you would never be able to tell that it's like a fan-made movie. Same with Roseblood, Peter. I mean, they're both, and you brought Kody up. He does play a big part in that. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah, he makes everything look smooth and amazing. Just gives it that look and gives it anchors it in a quality with the sound guys and the way it's edited and filmed and lit. It takes you out of that indie film vibe where you're like, okay, I'm just watching people in the backyard making a fan film or with the resources they have. Like he takes it to another level so that you kind of are able to get lost in that story and not think about the technical parts of it.
And Casey's a hard worker.
Yeah.
I don't like that they call these fan films because I think they're just as good as some of the crap I see that's coming out. Like I loved Attack of the Killer Donuts, but I think your movie's probably better quality film wise and acting for the most part.
Thank you.
Compared to that one, and that one, getting a lot of action on the streaming right now. Is there a reason that it's called a fan film instead of just like a regular movie?
100%. It's part of the requirements. When you do that from the studios, they want it to differentiate it from theirs so that no one gets confused. Like they don't want you to make any money. You can't profit off it, distribute it and all that. And they want it to have fan film in the title somewhere so that it differentiates it. So people know, okay, this is not that. And I mean, CJ even came to me and he's like, I don't like the fan film title. This is better than that. This is like legit stuff. Can you say independent film? Like it's an independent Friday the 13th film. I'm like, I wish I could. That'd be great because people get this preconceived idea in their head. There's a stigma around fan films and stuff. And so when because how many times you talk to someone and you're like, oh yeah, I played Jason and Vengeance 2 and Roseblood. And like, what numbers are those? Oh no, they're fan films and stuff, or they're not one of those. They're not part of the franchise. Like, oh, fan film, okay, and it's like, no, but watch it. Really, there's some amazing fan films out there, and you just read the reviews, and the fans love them more so than the franchise films sometimes, and for good reason, because when you're made by fans, you get to have that fan worthy content and do it justice, where sometimes the studios are about money or about whoever the executive producer is who wants to get something in there or take something out because they don't like it. So,
and you get to be ballsy with the script, which the studio would never let you do. Like you get to have Jason say that the Necronomicon brought back Jason. You get to have Michael versus Jason. You get to do things that you never would normally not be able to do.
Yeah, and Laura Park Lincoln and Darcy DeMoss both were talking about it too, and they're like, I love not doing a studio film. We get so much more creative freedom to be our characters. We get more creative freedom for the kills. We could do things like we don't have someone out there looking at us over the shoulder being like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I just had that on a film that had producers on set. It's not a fan film or anything like that. But it was a legit film over the summer. And there was a producer and they're like, you're taking the gore too far. This is not a gore film. This is a high class quality film. Like it is with quality gore because we were doing the special effects on it, but they just get their idea in their head. Like, oh, if it's bloody and gory, it's trash. He's like, we're not making trauma. I'm like, this is definitely not fucking trauma. I love trauma. Thanks for the compliment in that way, I guess. But no, I'm like, think of Game of Thrones, think of Final Destination, think of all these things. They are higher quality films, respectable, and they go into the gore, right? So anyway, you get producers once in a while who just don't understand what fans want. They just have this like business side of their mind. They're like, I need to appeal to the widest group of people. I need to appeal to kids. I don't want it to be rated R. I want to keep the PG-13 so we can expand. I'm like, those kids are going to go watch this shit. They're going to find a way, so give them something to aspire to, give them something to watch, make it stand out, give it what it needs to be itself. Let this thing live and breathe what it should be, and not handcuff it and don't let it live it to its potential.
To real quick, to Jason's point, when he talked about producers and stuff, I'll give you a perfect example of that. Friday the 13th, part 13 was supposed to come out. What was it, 2017, Jason? Something like that. And they had writers. They had 2 different scripts from 2 different people. They had a writer, director. Everything was gung-ho. They released, the same studio released the movie Rings, which was another ring, right? And because Rings did so shitty, and they said this themselves, because it did so shitty in the box office, they're like, oh, we're not going to come out with Friday the 13th. I was like, you have no idea what the F you're talking about. You think that the Rings audience is the same as a Friday the 13th audience? You're out of your mind. Literally millions of people a year go to conventions to get stuff signed and or meet Friday the 13th people. The video game came out and sold 3 million copies in the first day. Like, there's no way that you can compare those two. And because of that, they scrapped it thinking they were going to lose money on it. And including the last one they did in 2009 made tons of money. So they're clueless like that. They're just businessmen. They don't understand.
Yeah.
Just a couple more things about Vengeance. Lewis Carlisle.
Yeah.
So I came up to you at the Roseblood premiere, and I was like, dude, I had no idea that was you the first time that I watched Vengeance, the first Vengeance, and then I got a kick out of you on the gurney in the with the big heart on. So you do all the prosthetics and everything, right?
Yeah.
Like the big fake dick in the movie on your body. You made all that?
That my girlfriend partner did. She we when we decided to do that was like an added scene later. In a first test screening, people were like, they had forgotten some of the things that happened in the first Vengeance. And they're like, well, why are they doing this? And who's that? And whatever. And we had a new policeman, new deputy in the movie. So we're like, okay, let's introduce him sooner. Let's get some information passed on to him, since he's a new character we're going to follow. So that way the audience is getting informed as well. And Kody, he said, I don't want to just do this in the woods or police station. That's boring. We've got to come up with a new location. So I was like, well, why don't we do it in a morgue? And that way we could bring maybe a victim or 2 back from the original film, kind of do a little cameo, have some fun with that. And I started thinking of Diana Prince too, because in the first one, due to scheduling and timing and a bunch of mess ups from things I won't go into, they didn't get to get the makeup, which is the whole point of Diana wanting to be a part of it, was wanting to get the prosthetics and everything. So I was like, it'd be great. We could bring Diana back and do her up. And
me.
Yeah, Peter was in there.
And me.
And you, yeah.
Yeah.
And and we can showcase, because we're talking about doing flashbacks, we'll show the fight and all that. But Kody was like, well, who you have to put in there? I was like, yeah, Diana. He's like, no, Louis. Because people keep asking for Louis. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And he's like, what? And you can't have Louis in there unless you do a boner joke. So then I was like, yeah, I still want to do the normal boner joke. I want to come up with something funny though, or something more than just that. So then I remembered the Netflix documentary about the Icelandic Phallological Museum I watched a couple years ago, and thought, oh yeah, Louis would totally donate his to that or whatever, and that'd be funny. So that's what I wrote in the script and everything. And then we realized, oh crap, we're shooting in a couple of weeks. We got to get this fake dick, right? And so we talked, Naomi and I talked, like, should we sculpt one, or what are we going to do? And that would take a while. So the quickest way was just to cast me and get that and just make a copy of me. So that's what we did. Went up there, did that. And then, and that's what's in the film. Right. And we're going to keep that a secret, and then, and not tell anyone, just kind of like, cause once that gets out, then it's out. But then the actual museum in Iceland contacted me, and they're like, hey, we saw this. We want to put this in our museum. And, are you okay with that? We're like, yes. So we flew out to Iceland, Naomi and I, and we put it in the museum. They gave me a lifetime membership and all this stuff. And it was amazing. So awesome. It's in the documentary that just got put out, the whole trip and all that, and the lead up to that. But it was funny. And I was, like I said, I was nervous about how that was going to play out, but everyone's been really supportive and they love it. It's the topic of every podcast and an interview, because it's just one of those things that's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, real quick, that morgue smelled fucking weird.
Yeah, dead people. There's 24 dead bodies in there while we filmed.
I went in that room. I'm like, it's like they try to cover it up with cleaner, but you know what I'm saying? It's still in there. It's like spraying after a bad shit.
It's filmed in a real morgue.
A real morgue, bro.
Yeah, they had 24 dead bodies in a room next to us. and we had contacted them ahead of time. I sent them the script and said, hey, I want to be respectful to you guys, to the families, to people and stuff. Here's the jokes and here's what we're doing in there. And then they read it and then they sent it to their superiors and they're, up the chain of government command and, in the county. And they came back and said, yeah, no, we really appreciate you being respectful about that and asking and stuff. But it seems like it is kind of a crude humor thing, but it's done in a tasteful way that we're good with it,
Sure.
So.
They had a room, Casey, with like real skulls of people who died from like gunshots, and you could see the hole in the skull and all kinds of teeth and skeletons in the other room was like shown for show. It was pretty cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis Carlisle. He's a character that he's in other movies too, right? He's appeared in other movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 6 other movies, I think. And I mean, after the first Vengeance, so before Vengeance, there was a movie called Happy Trails, and that's where the character got invented. I needed a cranky store owner. We're trying to cast, and I was talking to DP at the time who's helped me do the casting, and we couldn't find the right person. And so the one I had in mind, and I just kind of threw on a beard and a hat and went in the garage. My son filmed it, and I said, "This is what I'm looking for." And then the DP was like, "You have to play this character. That's you." I'm like, "No, I'm directing. I don't want to play it." He's like, "No, you have to." So I did. And then the director for Vengeance, Jeremy Brown, was like, "Hey, can we put that character in Vengeance?" I was like, "Sure, as long as I get control over the lines." And we did. And then after Vengeance came out, I had 6 other film and TV people reach out and be like, "Can we put that character in our movie?" So then it became like the Kenny of horror movies, where he just keeps dying over and over again. So we got Park Dead: The Awakening. There was
Up All Night.
Up All Night, yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street, Up All Night. Then there was the Medics TV show. There's The Barn Part 2, Band Wars. It just the list keeps going and going. And it came up with a life of its own. And it's been fun.
Bro, what's more impressive? And he'll never say it. He went into character as Louis once, like, I don't know, right after you did Vengeance 1 on some podcast somewhere for like a fucking hour.
Oh, that was live on Facebook.
Bro, he was in character and people were like fucking with him or saying funny things or saying jokes. And he was coming back with one-liner after one line. Whatever you said, he took and threw back in a joke. Was fucking more impressive than the movie. I was like, holy shit,
the improv
character.
Dude, sometimes I can get in that zone. Once that beard goes on,
yeah,
and I got that beard, I'm like, I don't know. I become the character, something different.
Even your eyes, you got that kind of crazy fucking look
Oh,
in your
yeah.
eyes, Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, we're gonna get into you, Peter, very soon. I promise. Let's get back into Kody Newton a little bit with Metal Kingdom. You were in that as well. You helped him with Metal Kingdom. Great little YouTube thing that Kody did.
Spielbergish, right?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. Cody's hasn't been a horror guy. He's a very family friendly kind of guy who does wholesome, really amazing content.
He's a Mormon.
Yeah. And so him doing this horror stuff is a little bit out of his comfort zone, but he's learned to love it. He's like, I don't like horror movies or watch them as much, but I love making them now. And but he does his own movies. Like I said, he's a writer. He's a director first, and an amazing director. So he wrote this one. He had the concept. He's like, hey, can you make a robot? And I was like, what? Yes, but what? And he told me the story. In the original title, I think, was the robot that followed me home from school or something. And it was a cute little story. And so I'm like, yeah, well, what do we have in mind? And so we kind of went back and forth with some ideas. And he's like, yeah, and I want you to play the main robot. I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I love playing characters like that. So I built all the robot suits and stuff. And for the script, it went out there.
Who played the tall robot, bro? If you don't mind me asking.
It was his nephew.
Oh, okay.
It's just like 19, 20-year-old young nephew dude. But I built it to be like, he was originally going to be on stilts also. But once we got to film in the house, it put his like waist at the top of the door. And so he couldn't get inside the doorway to get in safely. And it was too big to have it all work on camera. So it was tall.
Big anyways.
Yeah. It was tall because I built it all to be on top of his shoulders and go up and have the head move with his head when he turns and have it all work like that. Awesome. But yeah, we built that all in a month or two and then drove out to Idaho and filmed it. And it's great. And his daughter plays the lead girl.
She was great.
With the numbers down the eye. She was phenomenal. Love her to death. She's funny.
Dude, the best part of that movie. I mean, it's not the best part, but to me, the cutest part, the family hit home Spielberg part, is when they click online to go to change your grades and it says, "Are you a robot?"
Yeah.
It goes to Jason, and he's like this. I thought that was great. That was clever.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I had it in the script, and I laughed so hard when I read that.
And was it your idea with the ice cube, like fucking with the machine? Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm just supposed to be in the background looking at stuff, and I'm like, the idea is supposed to be a longer thing. So this is just a proof of concept for a bigger movie, right? And the idea was that I'm a robot that was being built and became sentient. And I suddenly had this awareness and realized I like life. I like things, and I'm curious. And so I I escape, essentially. And now these other robots are hunting me down. And then there's the scientist, the guy who's building it. He's not evil. It's just, his stuff kind of got carried away. And it was going to be John LeMay, who was going to be the scientist guy, right? And but we didn't end up shooting that, obviously. But we did a shorter version, got it together, cut that part out, and we just kind of assumed like, okay, I'm just a robot that escaped. But there's so much more to tell that I hope we can figure out a way to do it, because this little 25-minute short with all that heart and all that fun, like there's so much more to tell.
You care about the robot, and you care about her, and you care about your relationship, and that's smart.
Yeah.
Is that the idea of a short that maybe hopefully somebody sees it and that it will be picked up to be something bigger?
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes a short is just a short because it's like, this is the story. That's it. And some people are really good at a lot of impact in a short amount of time, and that's all it needs. Turning it into a feature would be a crime because you just dilute the message or dilute the feeling of it. But something like this, it definitely is. We just want to show a proof of concept, kind of grab you, want you to see more. And like, I want more of this robot. I want more of these characters, because there's other robots we have in mind that are cool as fuck. It could be in this. And almost like the Warriors, right? The old movie, The Warriors, where they're kind of bopping their way back to Coney Island. It's kind of the same thing. You get this robot and the kids who are trying to get back to the scientist, and you got these robots to fight along the way.
Casey, Kody made a really awesome short. It might have been like 10 minutes, Jason. What's that one where he plays that like demonic clown thing with the top hat and the little cane? Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, watch that one, Casey.
I think I did see that. Yeah, that was
great,
quite a while ago, right?
That was a good one. She kept trying to shut the lights off, and he kept turning them back on.
And then there's Eric's in the Void, which is his son. So Cody's son, Tiago, played the other robot, the bad guy robot, the blue one. He's also really good, very athletic, does his own stunts. We just watched him jump off like a 2-3 story staircase in this last movie, just bam, just full send. But he also plays this ninja guy in this like cybernetic ninja guy in Eric's in the Void, I think it's called. But yeah, Kody does some really newton.com. Check out his stuff.
His son jumped off a 20 to 25 foot fucking stairs in the middle of the fucking woods, jumped in the air. All they had was one shit mattress on the fucking ground. I don't know how he didn't snap his fucking legs. And he landed and rolled and got up like nothing was wrong.
And then ran up and did it again.
Yeah.
Is this for the new one that's coming out?
259.
259, yeah.
259. So that's the demon possession one. Yeah. And I had to get up on that thing in costume. I play the demon in there, and I'm up on these stairs, and I get halfway up and I'm getting vertigo.
Yeah.
And then I get to the top, and I feel very top heavy because this costume is huge and stuff. And I'm just standing there on the top of the stairs. There's no arm rails or anything like that. And I get to the top. I'm like, fuck this. This is bad.
Me and Ryan feet were off the edge. Remember when we were filming down, you guys were doing the grave with all the skeletons and shit.
Yeah.
So Ryan was next to me, stoned out of his mind with the camera, and our legs are hanging off. And then, it's real dark, and that thing kind of sways a little bit. And you're like, dude, I'm not really scared of heights. I was like, this is kind of crazy, right?
Dude, I hate heights, but I was up there because it's part of the job. And I'm 6'5", so I'm already like top heavy.
The stuff is made of like this weird styrofoam. Ask Jason. So when you're stepping on it, you kind of go in a little, so it almost gives you the impression you're almost gonna fall through, right? So that's like, for me, it was kind of scary like that too. And it's dark, and they're blowing the smoke, and dude, you just shit your pants.
Yeah. But Randy built it was solid. It was like metal underneath, had a metal frame, so I never felt like I was gonna fall through because I trust their construction. But yeah, I get it. It's like it feels unstable, even though it is. And then, but I just kept feeling like I was. Oh no! I'm glad that part's done.
Go back to sort of like the same point as like the short, like why people would make a short. Like, why make a fan film? Is it to try and get noticed? Like to try and get?
No, I mean, originally we did it because we just love the franchise, and we are just fans. And it's like people who build a costume, they're not trying to get noticed. They just want to live a part of this universe, right? And so I just always wanted to play Jason in a film, and I love making movies, and I love the character. And then when I heard about it and I auditioned, I'm like, it's a dream to be able to be Jason Voorhees on film somehow. And so we did that, and then we got noticed, and so it was really fun. And I got to meet a lot of amazing fans and people, and connections. And then as you go on, you realize a lot of people are seeing your work. And so then when it comes to part 2, it's like we were really burned out. We want to get onto our own things and make some original content and do some stuff, but there's still that bit of you that wants to accomplish, even though you've already accomplished this. It's like, yeah, there's still more to tell, but it's so much work. You got to run the campaigns. It's not just showing up on set and making a movie. There's so much that goes into it that's behind the scenes that you spend every waking hour, day and night, and some losing sleep. Peter knows this right now, making laugh. It's insane, the amount of work to do it properly. And so,
and we did it with jobs. We did it with jobs. We did it when we had
full-time jobs and everything.
Yeah.
So you get no life, no family. It's just go. And when it came time to it, it's like, should we do it? The fans really want it. We kind of want to tell it now, but it's like, yeah, but we do have other projects we want to do. So one of the benefits of doing a second one could be to kind of showcase our work and what we could do with that budget, or what we could do, and how we've grown as filmmakers as well. Because we took advice from the first one and put it into the second. We're like, okay, this is what people are saying. They wanted more stalking. They wanted more character development. They wanted this or that. And so we listened to what the fans, were saying, and try to use that. So it was a good way to get something we make out to a broader audience that's already built in, and show them what we can do, as well as, paying homage and tribute to a franchise we love dearly and respect. So
same with me. Just and by the way, I pushed Jason towards Vengeance 2 a lot. There was that long period where we didn't know if we were gonna make it. I was like, we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna do it.
And I was like, I'll do it, fine, but you gotta help me. You gotta be there. I'm not doing it alone. And you're like, yeah, fine. And then fucking Roseblood came along, and he's like, I'm burnt out, man. You're on your own.
That's true.
Fuck you.
But just the love of it, dude. I've been a fan since I was a kid. So was Jason, and just Jason's been my guy. Look at my house. I mean, it's just always been a thing. And then when they did it, I was like, well, why can't I do it? Not them, just other people have made films. I'm like, hey, if those guys can do it, I could do it. Especially with Sean, with Jason, with Sanaya, with Kody. It's like I already have everything. You just have to like come up with the script, and passion's there, right? And the skill is not there, but the skill of everyone else I have has it. So it's scary as fuck. What's that saying? If you're not scared shitless doing it, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the truth. Like, because nobody's ever done something big for the first time and not been scared shitless of it. And trust me, I'm scared shitless again right now. And I think you have to get used to that, because that's supposed to be your comfort zone. That means you're going above and beyond what you think you can do.
Yeah.
And if you're still in your comfort zone, you're not growing.
Right.
Well, man, Vengeance, they're great movies, man. Really.
That Jason stunt guy in Roseblood, he really kicked ass after he opened that door. The axe swinging murderer.
That dude was awesome. Yeah, he was brutal. Throwing that axe.
That picture of you with the hood on with your glasses, bro. All time fucking classic. Never seen a Jason wearing glasses under a fucking hood in my life.
Yeah, fun times. Fun times. Yeah. Let's talk about before we get into Laugh that we've mentioned here. Let's talk about the Horrorverse, Peter. Tell us about the Horrorverse, codename Tank, and going out there and blowing out your knee and all that stuff.
Yeah, so Aaron Carlson and Charles Lawson, that's like their little baby. So they made what was the Michael one Jason called? The one they made 3 of them?
Oh, yeah. Halloween.
They're gonna kill me. The Shape.
The Shape.
So they made The Shape 1, 2, and 3, which was like kind of shorts of Michael films, which was pretty cool. And they had a ton of success with it. And they made those 3. And then they came up with the idea of let's make this Horrorverse where we're like, they've already talked about it in the trailer. You've got Freddy and Pinhead and Jason and Michael, and they're like Wolverines and Titans and monsters and vampires and all kinds of shit, like all together in this universe, and they contacted. So I guess it's like the first gig I got. Oh, besides Fall Camp Blood, I guess. And they're like, hey, there's this character Tank that's this fucking badass that, you know, fucking smokes cigars, fucking makes these badass talk shit all the time. We think you're perfect. We think you're perfect for it. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So they actually flew me out there and then did it. And then so that scene with the knee, you know, my knee is destroyed. I try to act like it's okay, but it's not okay. I mean, I've had 23 knee surgeries. I've had it replaced. I've had 2 surgeries on the replacement after it was replaced. I'm legally handicapped. Like, I've had 39 body surgeries. I can't do anything without getting hurt. But their scene was he comes at me and like I throw him, and I'm like, what if I just fucking pick him up over my head? Because I went in my garage for a month and a half, right? And I did push-ups, sit-ups, hit the speed bag, and bro, like a good amount of muscle came back. And you know,
dude,
this case, we talked
when
about
you when you took off your shirt and you're in that wife beater, I was like, holy shit,
yeah. So like a month and
Peter.
a half, you know, no juice, no nothing, no real weights. Just I'm like, man, I'm almost 50. Fuck, I feel good. You feel good, but your fucking body ain't good, Pete. You know what I'm saying? So like the thing with me is all my muscles are strong. It's everything that connects them. It's fucking shot. So there's a scene, he's supposed to run and jump, you know. So I'm still pretty strong, right? So if I'm like, dude, if you jump like wrestling, right? I'm like, and if you post on this shoulder, and I got your waist. All I really got is your leg weight, which is fucking nothing. The guy's like 155 pounds. Yeah. Dude, the dude hit the brakes like 3 times on it. Jumped one time, we fell backwards. He jumped the other time. I dropped him on the bed. The next time, like he fucked up. My head went back. Dude, and then he came again. He hit the brakes. I have the video of the behind the scenes. I got pissed. I grabbed his dick and balls, and I grabbed his fucking throat, and I just straight muscled him over my fucking head. And then when I went to throw him down, he held on to me. Instead of going on to, and that kind of made me buckle. And then it started to swell, and I went back to the room, and it was kind of bad, but it's always bad. So I don't know. The next day, we shot a scene in a bar, and we were sitting down drinking for like 2 hours, 3 hours. I went to stand up, and my knee popped. I sent Jason and Sean the live video of it. It popped out of place backwards, and my foot was backwards, and it was dislocated back. And now the weight of it was hanging in the air. Oh, holy fuck. So they're like, oh, we're all done, you know. And I just sit and I go, hey, Aaron, my leg's out of place backwards. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, look. And I showed him. He's like, holy shit. I go, dude, I don't know what to do. Let me try popping it back in or straightening it. And it wouldn't go in because there was so much blood in the way. There's like no room for it to go. So I said, dude, just pick me up and carry me to the bar. And the bar will hide it and we'll shoot the scenes there. And then we had to go outside. They're like, okay, we're not doing it outside. Bullshit. I'm already fucked up. I already have to go get surgery or whatever. What the fuck's it matter? Yeah. So I'm like, let's just go outside. Instead of me walking, I'll hold the door off camera and we'll do the outside scene. And then we did that. And then they picked me up, put me in the car. I drove all the way, what is it, an hour, Jason, right? Tacoma? An hour back to Seattle. And Sean and Kody came and brought me in the room, dropped me in the room. I slept with my knee like a teepee on a piece of furniture, and after a couple hours it popped back in. Almost threw up, passed out. In the morning, Sean came, took me to the hospital. They took 250 cc's of blood out. They wouldn't let me film it, but 250 cc's of blood. Now it's fucked. There's pieces of metal in. I gotta get it replaced, but I gotta replace again. I gotta do it after laugh. I can't do it now.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. It sucked. Yeah, I was so happy. I was feeling good. I was in shape. You know.
Yeah, that's when I saw you at the airport.
Yeah.
And
even
Dallas.
Riley was here a few weeks before. I took my shirt off. I hit a little pose. Had the top 2 abs coming in, little veins coming. I still look like an old man, but you know, I felt good. No, God's like, no, fuck you, asshole. You've been a dick your whole life.
Oh man, that horror verse, is that a series? So are every one of those tied together? Because I only watched yours.
So he did, I think, 9 of them. Or there's like 8 or 9 of them, and they're a series. They're like intro characters for everybody. But now, starting like in April, March of next year, he's gonna film, I think, 2 full movies, doing all of it now. The rest of it. What his idea was to introduce the characters to people. So me and the team. So there's a guy named Bullet, a guy named Tank, a guy named like all of us get together to try to hunt all these monsters.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, just from what I saw, it's only 10 minutes long. It's really good.
He lets me do whatever I want. I'm like, hey, can I get fake tattoos? He's like, yeah. I'm like, can I wear blue contacts? He's like, yeah. I'm like, can I smoke cigars? Yeah. And then right before, can I make fun of this guy when he rolls up on me? He's like, yeah. So that's why I said, like, what the fuck are you gonna do, Eddie Munster? And they all started laughing, and that's the guy I picked up. So he kind of lets me do whatever I want. He goes, I'll let you do what you want because that guy is you. Whatever you do is him. You get it? So
Yeah.
like makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. I gotta say the fake tattoos looked really good, Peter. How come you're not getting them?
Bro, first of all, Jason and Naomi did them for me, so kudos to them. He told me where to buy them and everything, so that's all him. When I grew up, I don't know what it is. When I grew up, all my friends are tatted pretty much from their neck. You know, Nazer, Jason, right? Like everybody's tatted all the way down. I don't know. I think it's because I was bodybuilding and I didn't want it to look bad. And then after years, like you're in your 40s, and you're like, what the fuck am I going to do now? And now I'm kind of glad now because a lot of people don't like the ones they have. Everyone I know who has tattoos says they wish they could like wipe and redo over. So I guess I bit the bullet.
See, I just started getting them. So
Oh,
yeah, I do. I got my Necronomicon right there. You can see. I just got that like 6 months ago.
You want to know another thing? Be honest with you. Okay, I'll be dead honest. I'm cocky, but I'm honest. You can hit me with a fucking bat, and I'll laugh. If you take your finger and you tap it on the same part of my arm like 3 fucking times, I'll want to kill you. So I don't know if I'd be okay with that fucking shit because people tell me it's annoying and they just keep going to the same spot 100 times. I think it would piss me off.
I'll tell you right now, the dentist is a bigger bitch than the tattoo artist. That dentist is all up in your mouth, stabbing you with shit. Tattoos are nothing compared to that.
If you had a big piece, right? So they do the outline, and then people tell me it gets raw. So then they go back to the middle, they do some shit, and then when they go back, it's already raw, and they go back over it, and that's the motherfucker. That's what I.
To me,
yeah,
it feels like you got a really bad sunburn, and you're taking like a piece of sandpaper and going over it, over on the sunburn. Like that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. The fun part is though, you think they're done, and they're like, "Okay, are you ready for the white?"
For the white, yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, go ahead." Yeah.
Do we need the white?
It's annoying.
And they will ask you. They'll go, we don't have to do the white. You could just have it skin color. And I'm like, no, fuck, get the white. Yeah, get in there, do it. Jesus.
You want to hear a funny Peter Anthony story, right? This is one of those crazy stories that we could either cut or leave. So I ended up my ex fiance Rita just passed away a couple of years ago. She's a girl I dated years back in 2004. Total sweetheart, total sad situation. Well, she's from Boston. She was like 32 years old when I was like 28, and she kind of knew I was a player, And she's like, "Oh, you got to get tested for everything." I'm like, "Well, I went and got all these AIDS tests, whatever." But I guess you can't get a herpes test unless like you had an outbreak. Like there's no way to test you because it's dormant, unless you go to the doctor and they have this one thing. So she's like, "Oh, I looked it up. You can go get this one thing." So I'm like, "Whatever the fuck." Go to the doctor, bro. Take a Q-tip and elongate it twice as long, and at the end of it, put a diamond to the left and a diamond to the right, like a hatchet. Okay. The guy goes, "I'm going to go down your dick hole all the way. I'm going to churn it 3 times. It's going to take off flesh from the inside of your urinary tract. I'm going to pull it out. We take the flesh and then we test it. That's how we tell." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "It's going to fucking hurt a lot. You're not going to like it." I go, "Fucking get it over with, bro." At this point, my dick's about a thimble. He fucking grabs it, puts the thing in, bro, twists it 3, pulls it out. Blood comes out with it, right? With the chunk, everything. He looks up at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I go, "If you ever do that again, I'll fucking kill you." Dude, the worst thing ever, bro. Holy shit.
My God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that sounds worse than getting a tattoo, Peter.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking sure.
Yeah. True.
That is not a Friday night for me, no.
I heard it's like that when you pass a kidney stone too, right?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
My boy played NHL hockey, one of the toughest dudes I know. He told me the truth. He goes, "Bro, I was sitting on the bowl crying, passing one through my dick." He goes, "It was that bad." I was like, "Fuck."
No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I'm like, "Can we just laser that thing out?" I'm like, "Can we laser that thing? Break it down."
Yeah, right.
What the fuck?
Yep, all clear. I went to the doctor. All right, let's talk about Laugh, Peter. How did the concept? Tell us all about it.
It's so long. I'll try to make a short version of it.
No, don't make it short. I mean, what are we doing? We're podcasting, man.
Yeah.
So, give me a question on it. What's the story about? Where to come from? Give me something because I got.
Okay, are you ready, Peter?
Right.
So you're making this movie called Laugh,
yes,
correct?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So what is the plot of this movie?
Where do we start? It's the main plot is my character, Peter Collymore. I wanted to keep it as real to my life as I possibly can. Some of the names are pretty close to people in my life, and there's parallels to my life, and it's almost like me going to therapy right? And letting these losses in my life out. But it's a descent into madness. He starts over here, and similar to Joker, and throughout the movie, all these things happen to him, which push him in a way into madness, and he ends up becoming like a bad person because of these things. But there's so many side stories and side plots. My father's Terry Kiser. He's a former war hero. He's a drug addict. I'm a war hero that everyone thinks, yet I can't laugh. And people are like, why can't you laugh? I'm up for an Oscar. I'm an actor with another guy who's a bad guy, but I don't ever win because I can't laugh in my roles. There's a reason for that comes out all at the end. There's a lot of biblical stuff going on. There's a club scene where I'm in the club. It's Halloween. Everybody's Casey. You guys want to come up and be extras in the Halloween scene? Let me know. November 5th. And Jason's in this. So during this, I'll give you that scene. That'll give you the best. We're in a club, and I'm there. My face is painted in this world. Actors who succeed have the painted faces. Just weird, right? It's kind of the thing I came up with. There's this play. If you ever go to these really nice clubs like New York, LA, at midnight, they have these crazy plays in the middle of a club, like either a dance thing or something nuts, like in the middle of a club. And on Halloween, if you went to like New York or something, they'd have something fucking sick as fuck on stage. So I created this play that happens while I'm in like a VIP booth watching it. And the play has Jason as the devil. And there's like 4 segments where he meets a girl who's a nice girl. And then he proposes to the girl. He marries the girl, and then they have a child at the end. I don't want to give away a little bit more, and there's parallels to my life during the play while I'm watching it. And while I'm watching it, I go to the bathroom, and some crazy shit happens in the bathroom. It's kind of like Star Wars, where there's a fight on the moon of Endor. There's a fight versus Vader, and then there's a fight on the spaceships. All 3 things are like revolving at the same time into like one like ending like that. Then it ends actually in the Oscars back in LA, like on a stage. And that's all I can kind of give you because there's so many, right, Jason? There's like so many more things to it that I can't give away. But basically, I'm like planting these seeds of story for people. And at the end, it's one of those movies where everybody's story kind of does one of those. That's what it's about.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's about my life too, because, my stepson, Bryson, and then loss of my friend, stuff like that. So there's parallels to it in the movie. It's almost
That's
like
what I was going to That's what I was going to say. Is what is the inspiration for it? Is it based on a lot of stuff that you had to deal with that you've dealt with?
Yeah. So like the whole Bryson thing, I never, it's just me here, dude. I don't have anybody. I don't have a family. I don't have, all my friends have died from ODs. It's just like, this is the house all my friends were in. This is the house I played with Bryson. This is like, it haunts me. And I'm like one of those tough guys. I just don't let it out. And who am I going to let it out to? So it's just like almost like it's the inspiration and the drive to do it, which is kind of the reason why it took so long to write it, because I'm scared to like address it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think when I do that part, the reason why I put me in that part is because it's real. And before that happened, these things happened, I probably wouldn't have been able to pull it off to the degree I hope that I can pull it off now.
You mentioned Terry Kiser. You worked with Terry in Roseblood, yep. Bringing him back for Laugh.
Yes.
Tell us about working with Terry, man.
Bro, you know me. I send you stuff. Dude, me and that guy at 3 a.m. smoking weed at a fucking Ice Nine Kills fucking concert. I mean, the dude is like one of my good friends. He calls me all the time. We talk all the time. He's 85 years old. He tells me crazy stories. You know what I'm saying? The guy's a stud. He don't look 85.
No, he doesn't.
No, dude. Everybody loves him, dude. Everywhere we go, he takes me out to dinner. Then we're hanging out with chicks. And then we go. I mean, he's just. If I was young, right, and watching Weekend at Bernie's, somebody said, "Bro, one day you're gonna make movies with this guy and hang out with him." I'm like, "No way! What are you talking about?" But Jason's got the same kind of stories, but it's true. And for some reason, like Kane Hodder, I would like to say, "Oh, I'm so cool." No, I don't know why the fuck they like me, because there's a million people that are the same as me. But I'm lucky enough that for some reason I'm cool with these people.
Yeah, dude, I love when you get your picture with him. When you get your picture taken with Terry, how he just starts that crazy laugh to bring a smile to your face.
Yeah. He said he learned that in acting school.
Oh yeah.
He said not only can you keep your mouth the same, but it's infectious and it makes everybody else laugh, which is true.
It really does.
Yeah, he goes ha, 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 ha. He just does it like that, and you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Yeah.
we mentioned Vengeance 2 earlier, how the fans wanted Vengeance 2. I mean, I know the fans want a Roseblood 2 as well. Is there any talks of that?
I have an idea. I already talked about it with Laura and everybody like that. The problem is I'm broke, and to make that movie would take a lot of money, and we couldn't make money on it. Now, I do have a clever way of getting around that, to making it our own idea, because Rose is mine. Do you know what I'm saying? And the General's mine, and a lot of things are mine. And if I can change Lars' name to something else, and we can kind of get around that to a degree. But I mean, who knows? But if we kind of turn the corner on fan films, and we're trying to actually make money and go that route, so maybe one day, if I got a ton of money and I want to, if there's a director who's like ballsy and wants to do it, then I'll write it and then help out. But because that would be an honor. But as far as this, I think it's time. We've paid our dues a long time and spent a lot of money, all of us, and really put ourselves in bad spots. And I think it's time for us to make back. Hopefully.
Yeah. And that's the purpose of Laugh, right? Making your own, so you can hopefully find distribution and make some actual money, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So my whole idea is there's these 6-7 scenes that we have that we're going to shoot, that I purposely selected for this days of shoot, because I know those scenes in my mind will make a good trailer. So what we do is we shoot those scenes, we get the trailer, then we show people, hey, this is what we did with the trailer. And then, because there's big money investors that want to see what you're going to do. And then who knows, maybe we shop it somewhere else and we get a lot of money, maybe A24 or something. We're totally dreaming here, but A24 or something like that. That's the goal, is to put a lot of money into these days and make everything as great as we possibly can. And I watched Kody on Metal Kingdom with Jason. I watched Kody and these guys on 259. Their talent level has gone. I mean, you think V2 was like here, they're going there. It's at a whole different, the lenses they use, everything's way different. So I really feel now, with how much we've learned, Jason too, from effects. I mean, he was always good, but I mean, how much better are you now, Jason, than 5 years ago?
Oh, way better. Like every set we're on, we learn more, and we try new things. We just got done this past weekend shooting, and we did some things we haven't done before, which I kind of did as a test for Laugh, for some of the scenes upcoming, just to make sure, not for this upcoming shoot in a couple of weeks, but in the future, testing things out and getting it right and dialing it in. And yeah. Look at his
when
hands.
did you first start?
Bloody hands right now, right?
Yeah, I got blood on my hands still.
When did you first start getting into doing the prosthetics and special effects, Jason?
It was a long time ago. When I was a teenager, I made a couple things just for haunted houses and kind of volunteered at some haunted houses and everything. And then I really wanted to get into movies, and I met a filmmaker while I was doing graphic design, made some posters for him, and he found out I could make things. So I did some props, costumes, and all that. Then they were like, well, you're big. Do you want to play the monster? I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. So I get to start acting a little bit, and then it's kind of evolved from there. And then over the last, since Vengeance, I did a couple of things here and there. And after that, just worked on indie film, and we'd get on set. There'd be a makeup artist or something working on something. I'd be like, hey, I could help out with that, or I'd like to be able to do something, or I'll tackle this thing, you tackle that. And then on V2, it was just all me. I knew I was going to do some certain kills. I started working on it in my house alone. And then that's where we put a call out for some assistance. And that's where Naomi came in, who went to school down in Oregon for this stuff. And I met Naomi, came over to kind of assist and help with the headcast, and then was just awesome. And so then we just worked together nonstop from that point. And then right around the time the film ended, we're like, what's next? We kind of caught feelings for each other, and we started dating. And I was like, I got this real fiction thing. Do you just want to go all in on this with me? And let's just actually do it. And said, yeah. So we just put our foot down, and then we contacted Michelle from V2 also, and said, let's just do this. Let's put it together and just really commit to it and do it. So that's what we've been doing for the last couple of years. And it's been building, and our reputation out here has been phenomenal. Our work is, speaking for itself and things. I can't wait for these things to come out for people to see them, because there's so much that is.
There's a scene in Laugh that is, hopefully we could pull it off. That is, I don't want to give it away, but it's with the clown, and it's fucking sick. It's like something you dream up as a kid. The pressure I put on these fucking people. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, and they're like, okay.
How long do we have?
Figure that out somehow. You know.
So how much time like do you have to work on something? Like if you know, Laugh, for instance, like you guys know you're working on this now. Has any filming started yet at all?
No, we don't start. First of all, I've given him no time. He's like, I've like totally handicapped him with time. We start November 2nd.
Okay. So like Jason, when the movie starts rolling, are you already working on some of the props and the special effects
yeah.
that need to be
I'm
that's
I'm taking a break right now for this interview from working on that. I've got silicone on me too, because I've been, we sculpted these face appliances and different things like that for the film. And now I'm casting them, doing molds of them so we can make the positives and prosthetics for faces and the clown thing that Peter's talking about. So we have all this stuff going on there that we're working on. And we do months. We take as much time as we can to get it right. But we also have other projects that we're doing. So 3 or 4 other, films at the same time. So he's got to prioritize based off, this thing's going to take us 6 weeks to do. This will take us 2 days. This will take us 2 months. And then we just kind of budget our time for that stuff. And then some things like the thing that Peter's talking about, we're going along pretty well. Then now we got to make a pretty major change to it due to some circumstances. So that's one of those things where now we got to figure that out into the timing as well. And so we're trying to cram out a few other things to get that done so we can completely focus on that to get it done. But like I told Peter, it's like making a cake. Some things, if you take time to cure, you got to paint in different layers, and it takes time for each layer to dry before you put the next one on. And if the cake takes an hour to bake and you only have 30 minutes, you're just going to get warm cake batter. You're not going to get the final product because it takes time to cure. It's not just a matter of
shit always goes wrong, which I dread. But something's going to go wrong, just the way it is.
But yeah, I mean, the days we're not on set, we are here doing lab work, and I've got 2 team members out there right now working on this stuff. So
it's awesome, bro. He sends me videos of the shit he's working on. It's fucking phenomenal.
Is it satisfying? I guess it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like you put all that work into making something, right? Like you said, it takes time to cure, to paint, to mold, to do all that stuff, and then essentially like you're just ripping it apart and splattering it with blood and all that stuff. Is that satisfying? I guess, right? Sometimes,
and then some things we make it so that we could do multiple takes because there's always going to be issues. There might be a camera that doesn't work right, or an angle or something, focus didn't get pulled right or went off. So when you have something like we had on one of our last films, we had made 7 full bodies for these actors who were in it. And something terrible happens to each one. One of them explodes. It's like, okay, well, this is a full body. This is expensive, right? And when we make it, if we blow it up once, if any part goes wrong, we're screwed. And that gig is no longer there. And the production spent money, thousands of dollars on this. And we've spent months on this. And it's just gone, right? So we built it in a way that this body could explode and be put back together and redo it again. And thinking about the production stuff and making sure we get the shot right. And because we have the blood too, we got 6 different things that are happening to create the explosion, and the blood flying and the guts flying and slime and the clothing having to be ripped off in certain ways. And then so it takes 9 people for this effect to happen without pyrotechnics. And we got on set and, set it all up and we do it. We got on the first take, thank God. Because otherwise it would take a few hours. We could have rebuilt the whole thing like a puzzle piece, put it back together, re-rigged it, get all the blood primed and everything again, and do it again. But we got it, and it was awesome. But we get to use some of those body parts in the future. It's like, oh, hey, we need to have a leg here, an arm there. We have a catalog of different things that we could then rent out, reuse, modify, that kind of thing. So
nice.
Roseblood had many one takers. The Kelly Ellison one take. Yeah. Jason falling through the wall, one take. Like it's just the Strang's hand, one take. Like there's so many pressure that you have to get it just right. We don't have Hollywood budgets where you can just redo it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all worth it to the fans anyway. I mean, to me, it looks great to me. So you guys are doing a great job. Thank you. Shooting starts November 2nd for Laugh, right?
The 2nd to the 7th.
Yep. 2nd to the 7th. It's a short shoot time.
It's only for the trailer.
Oh shit. Okay.
So we're shooting. Those scenes are going to be in the movie, but we're taking them, like I said, to put a trailer together to then show people. But those scenes are knocked. Like Terry's scenes will be knocked out. Most of Calypso's knocked out. Half of mine are knocked out.
Nice.
So it's both. Yeah. We're achieving two different things at once. That's why my first Indiegogo is very small. I didn't promote it that much. It was just those little. The next one will be the huge one with the trailer.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, the Indiegogo campaign did great. I mean,
yeah.
Right. Fully funded.
Oh yeah. It's almost at $20,000 right now. It ends I think tomorrow morning or something.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Ray, what do you have for these guys?
Go Browns.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
When's the last time you went to a game?
I went last year for one. Okay. It's more fun to tailgate for Browns games.
Yeah.
We got the Muni lot, and it's just the stadium holds about 70 people, and our parking lots have about 200,000 people in them. So that tells you what people in Cleveland like more. They like to drink and have fun in the parking lot. So
yeah, the Giants are like that too.
Yeah. But we're very angry people because our team sucks usually. So it's a bunch of angry people drinking in a parking lot, and you know what that leads to.
Yeah, it's different when you go to the Dolphins, bro. It's 90 degrees. Girls are in T-shirts with no bra. They're doing like throwing contests and kicking contests. In the Northeast, you're freezing your balls off. It's totally
different. Yeah. Totally we're just drunk and angry usually.
Yeah, there's just one mission: get drunk. That's it. That's
Yeah. I'm going to
try not to get arrested. Casey's coming up here.
Yeah, I'm going to see an NWA show in the pro wrestling show in Cleveland on the 28th. And Ray's like, man, he's like, I'm going to love watching you fucking freeze. I was like, fuck, I forgot it's cold everywhere else.
Yeah, dude. I lived in Florida 2 years, bro. I came back and it sucked like that first year, so I wasn't ready for it.
You'll be fine, Casey. Yeah, I'll be wearing shorts. He'll have like a parka on. So, anyways, I got a question about Vengeance 2. So we got Richie Ramone in this movie.
Yeah.
And this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this, you shut it off right now. Richie Ramone is the drummer from the Ramones, who I absolutely love. And I kept sitting there going, you can't kill this guy. You cannot kill Richie. He's too tough to die. That's his big album. That's the one he's on. And you guys killed him.
Yeah.
He liked it, though. He loved it.
Originally, that part was meant for David Howard Thornton.
Oh, really?
Clown, yeah. So he and Felissa Rose were going to be in the film, but then when we got the schedule set out, he and Felissa were working together on another film, which actually didn't end up getting made in the end or completing. But that was originally his part, and once he was not available, we're kind of like, oh crap, what do we do? And I got to figure something out. Either take the role out or modify it. And then Tamara Glenn from Halloween 5, she called me. She's like, hey, don't usually do this, but my friend Richie, he really wants to be in the film. And do you mind if I give him your number? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Give me. I mean, it's full. I'm in my mind, like someone's friend, Rich. I'm not going to put him in that role. It's like maybe he could be on the roadblock and be cannon fodder. I don't know. But anyway, so I get a call, and it's like, hey, this is Richie from Richie Ramone. I'm like, wait. Who? Richie Ramone, and I was like, wait, drummer Richie and stuff.
Kind of sound like him, dude. You kind of sound like
him. And he's like, yeah, I heard you're making a movie, and I was interested. I'm getting into acting, and it was just great. And dude was cool as fuck. And we talked for a while, and then I got off the phone, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out because holy crap, And so I thought about having. I'd already been mixing some things around because we were going to have Alice Cooper in it with Tom McLaughlin with the two redneck gravekeepers. And when I talked to Alice, and his agent was like, no, he's touring. I moved Rob Mello into that role and then shifted some things around. And I was like, yeah, I can put you here in this role. It's not the biggest thing or anything like that, but you come in and he did, and he killed it. And it was one of those moments like Peter was talking about earlier. You have those things where I'm driving home from work and I get a text from Richie. He's like, hey, I'm in the studio right now. We just kind of laid down some tracks really fast. It's kind of rough, but I just want to get your opinion. What do you think of these? Sends me like 6 songs that they just recorded, unreleased. And he's like, they're not mastered. It's like, it's kind of rough. So I'm hearing the studio recordings of him and his band playing, and I'm like, this is my fucking life. Richie Ramone is like sending me what's going on, you know? And so he was cool. And so we got to work with him on 259 again, and he just killed that role as well. He's an amazing actor.
You got 2 songs on the soundtrack from him also.
Yeah. He was on when we were on set, he was like, hey, I was thinking, do you mind if I write a song for your movie here?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're good too.
Yeah,
Tom McLaughlin's on there too. Tom McLaughlin.
Yeah, Tom McLaughlin.
Tommy's song is awesome.
We're not ready to die. Too young to die. What was it?
Too young to die.
Too young to die.
Never too young to die.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Rob is great in that role. As, man,
see, those things.
Those two playing off of each other, him and Tommy, is really fucking good.
That's one of those things I was talking about earlier, where sometimes things like that, where we're expecting Alice and didn't work out, and so we move things around. Sometimes they get better. So I can't imagine it being better than having Rob and Tommy in there.
My hand hurts. What? Stop jerking off then. Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah.
They did really good ad-libbing.
Yeah.
That was all. They were all ad-libbing all that stuff?
No, all of it. I had the script, and there were certain key points. I'm like, I told all my actors, like, I want you to make it your own. If it feels weird, if it feels wrong to say it in your way, and if there's a certain word or phrase that needs to be said, then we'll keep that because it helps with the plot, or it needs to come up later. But I say, make it your own. And so they sat there and they went with the lines that I said, these are important to say. And they did, but they had filler in between there. And so like the whole, my hand's hurting, that was all ad lib. Like, yeah, I feel a bad feeling about this. Cause the line was, I've got a bad feeling, something's going down, because they're getting all these calls about all these bodies from the first thing and whatever. And there's more coming in now. And he's like, I got a bad feeling, and I got this arthritis in my hand. When it starts acting up, something bad's going to happen. And then the other thing about that, when we got to the location, it was right on a highway, and there was so much road noise that we couldn't hear. And we're like, there's no way we get clean audio. Like, how? There's no way. You can't cancel all this out. It was a mess. And so we talked about it, and I was like, well, what if we, and I talked to Kody and everything, like, if we have them yell their lines, can we put music underneath? Like, they're just listening to loud music and they're too much idiots to turn it down, And he's like, yeah, that could work, because it'll be in the background, it'll cover it up and stuff. All right. So that's why they're yelling, is because of road noise. Then we just put the music in there. So it sounds like they're just too big of an idiot to turn it down. And that helped too. It's like, my hand hurts. What? And it's like, I said my hand hurts. Oh, well, stop jerking off.
And his zippers down. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It flies down. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, can I put my fly down and do this? I'm like, please do. Yeah. Be the character, have fun with it. It's a great time to do that. So I know Rob talked about it a few times too. He said he loves having that freedom to be an actor, be creative, and put your own spin on it, so yeah.
That's awesome. So this is just something I thought of. Now I know both of these films were filmed at, like, Roseblood and Vengeance were filmed at Sean's property, but like, you said there it was near a highway. So like, as a fan film or like an independent film, like, how do you go about getting permission to film at like certain locations? Just go and ask?
Yeah. Well, the
highway's right. The place Jason's talking about, if you go to Sean's house, you have to do that one way and do a turnaround.
Yeah.
Remember? When you take that turnaround, it's right there.
Right there. Like the Cedarbrook lumberyard right there. So that was where we were on the side. The roadblock itself, everyone's asked me, how did you shut down an entire road in the highway? And you're like, we didn't. That's Sean's driveway. It's like we had a couple locations, but then we had one back road, but the guy was on vacation and he didn't want us to film there without him. And so we lost it. And so Kody and I walked down one morning, like, can we make Sean's long driveway to his property look like a highway and kind of fake it? We could only shoot it from one angle and one side. And so we kind of looked around for a bit and we're like, yeah, I think we could pull it off. And we did, apparently, because people have asked, how you shut down an entire road? It's a private driveway.
Yeah. It's cool watching it, like, being there, it's like, oh, I remember that. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
The people don't know Sean is like on a compound, if you think about it,
Yeah. Very cool. Ray, you have anything else for these guys?
I do. I got one for Peter. Do you think you would ever write a comedy?
Man, great question. Man, I don't know. The weird thing is if you got, Casey knows me pretty good, Jason knows me pretty good. like to think I'm a funny guy, like hanging out with me, but that's like always off the cuff or just like that. I don't know if I could structure it well. This tall fucker over here is really good at writing comedy. I don't know if I did, it would be more of a struggle than writing a serious character for me, at least. I think it's probably my weakness.
But do you think you'll take a crack at it at some point, just to push yourself? You talked about going out of that comfort zone.
I like this.
Are you going to do it?
I think this movie, there's a couple funny parts in it, just normal. I think if this movie has a lot of success, I will try to add it in a normal movie on the next one. If it has success, then I could try to go that way. But I don't think I could I think I'd be bad at it to go full. Jason talks about it all the time. Comedy is timing and delivery. It's really not even so much material. Like you have some comedians who don't even say funny things. Seinfeld, but just the way he says it is funny.
Yeah,
you know, that's a talent in its own.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, like that scene that you're talking about with them two going back and forth. That was written beautiful. That was written beautiful.
That's comedy gold.
Gold. By the way, that's Jason's dog, Cujo. His real name is Choppy. That's Jason's little dog. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And please do your plugs. But after I hit end recording, stick around because I want to talk to you guys after this. So yeah, plug away where people can find you, all that stuff.
I'll go Peter Anthony Productions. Easy. It's the Peter Anthony on Instagram. It's Peter Anthony on Facebook. On YouTube, it's Peter Anthony Productions for the movies on there. And Laugh is coming out in 2024. The Indiegogo actually ends tonight, so it probably won't be available then. But there will be another Indiegogo, but you can follow it at Laugh, the motion picture, anywhere.
And I'm at realfictionstudios.com. You can find all of our social links on there. Some of our past work, some of the films we're working on, some of the ones we have worked on. So yeah, realfictionstudios.com I think is the easiest way to get hold of us.
Awesome. And I'll put all the links in the show description as well. So thank you again, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.